I feel like it's not really that surprising to see that the FBI have ended up at his house.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it was only a matter of time, but yeah, they're saying that I guess the major speculation is for what was the word they used?
I thought it was like obstruction of like a federal investigation or something.
Yeah.
Well, it was that, and then also because he's not supposed to have any like government classified documents at his personal.
Okay.
You know, you're
What's
not.
the place called again?
Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, it's on the east coast of Florida,
Palm Beach. Yeah, it's close to it's somewhere in the Palm Beach area. But like government officials are not supposed to have any sensitive information in on it at their house and their personal computers, things like that. It has to all go through government channels, and it's all very well documented and monitored. But I saw it was a tweet today, and it was just like then asterisks. It was just like Barron Trump looks up from his Xbox and just says, "Safe's in the back, guys."
My parents aren't home.
It's like, I've been waiting on you guys for a while now. The safe's in the back. Go ahead, help yourself. But
we set out some cookies and some donuts for you.
My favorite thing about just before we go into the podcast, my favorite thing about the Trump Brigade is their projection on their enemies. You know, like everything they always project onto the people that they hate always actually comes back to being what Donald Trump does.
What are you referring to?
Oh, well, there's multiple things, I suppose. The issue that this would be the thing, like checking the laptop and emails of Hillary Clinton was a huge thing, wasn't it? And now we're here with Donald Trump. We need to check his. The issue that someone in the Democratic Party was a pedophile, and then it came out that Donald Trump was like really good friends with Epstein. Was like on his private jet. It's just really
so
projection.
was Clinton, but I mean, that the whole thing with Hillary and the emails was just like that was something that they could drum up to get.
But that's
the
what I'm saying.
less
It's
intelligent
but that's
people
what I'm saying.
behind
It's so projectionary of the things that they are so worried about their own candidate and their own selves. It's
Well, that's I honestly don't think it was mentioned and brought up, but I don't think it was quite as politicized as it should have been. Remember the whole thing with the masks, and as much as conservative Republicans are against abortion because they're like, well, it's people that are pro-abortion, or I shouldn't say pro-abortion, pro-choice, to say, my body, my choice, I make the decisions about what happens to my body. When the whole mask mandate thing came up, they're like, oh, it's my body, my choice. Mm-hmm. If I don't want to put a mask on, it's up to me. But then turn it around a couple of years later, and it's like when it comes to abortion, it's like, well, we don't believe in that anymore.
Again, he's projecting
it's like,
own.
Well, it was my body, my choice when I didn't want to put a mask on, but now if it's my body, my choice, if I want to get an abortion, we're not about it. But
it's very hypocritical.
Yeah.
All right, well, good political intro.
Other than that, we're trying to steer away from politics today, of course.
All right, well, let's get into the show. What do you guys say?
Let's go, baby. What's happening, guys?
Hello.
Welcome back to the Is This Football podcast.
Is this football?
My name's Dan. I'm joined once again by my two lovely friends, Edward Doyle, Remdog Breachak.
Hello.
Gang's all back. We had
Gang's all here.
It's been a sparse last month or so, last couple weeks.
Should be expected. I mean, there's not a whole lot of sports going on.
Middle of summer, basketball ended, hockey ended. We're in the dog days of summer where there's basically just baseball, and it's not, mid-season baseball is probably... I guess I wouldn't say the most meaningless baseball.
It's when the first couple months you're like, oh, it's nice baseball. Yeah, the last couple months you're like, oh, the games are close and we need
exactly.
And then in the middle it's kind of like they're happening.
Yeah,
they are happening.
The 4 to 6 weeks post All-Star break, it's just kind of like because you're right. When the season begins, it's like, oh, we got baseball back, everyone's into it, and then it kind of is like, all right, we got 162 games. Let's just calm down
and let things take course.
To be fair, we recorded an entire episode last week. We were all three here last week. We recorded an entire last week. We were all here last week.
Last week we did not.
We recorded
an
entire episode about the Pro Bowlers Association, and we re-listened back and we were just like,
you're
it's
talking about
just
your
not.
podcast.
No, the three of us. We were here last week and we
were
did
not.
a whole Pro Bowlers Association podcast because there's no
feel like
sports.
This is going somewhere, Dan.
No sports at all, so we did a
play.
whole thing
See what
about the
happens.
PBA, and it just wasn't
I'm just
entertaining.
done.
It wasn't entertaining
Yeah,
enough, so we
I was
scrapped
like-
it. We
Yeah,
scrapped it.
Oh yeah.
Cut it.
We put in the work.
Cut it.
you know.
cut
We
it.
put
Cut
in
it.
the
Get
work.
it out of
cut,
here.
cut.
This
We
one's
put in the work.
this one's dumb. We gotta cut it.
Yeah, fucking dump it. Dump it.
Dump
Dump
it.
it.
Dump this one. We don't need the little buff boys around.
They're goosed. It's an old circus term.
Yeah. But where would you like to start as far as should we just dive right into NFL football?
Well, first we
off.
can do. Yeah, I think there's. Go ahead.
May I
man.
say,
Go ahead, man.
episode 25 is this football. Make sure you guys are
25.
make sure you guys
Doing
are
work.
listening out
Doing
there
work.
and
We've
you're
managed to follow each
subscribing.
other
Yeah.
for 25 hours.
Yeah.
Not to mention the extra 2 on each
25
side. That means
hours.
we've managed to be together for 75 hours
I was
with
just
an
gonna
actual
say-
meaning to be there. It's an
Yeah.
incredible feat, actually.
I mean, it's,
Aside from when the three of us worked together at the same job.
yeah, but at least we had ulterior motives to hang out with each other.
yeah,
We've done this, guys. Good job. Air 5
I
comment.
know.
Let's
I know.
go.
We're all there.
do it.
But yeah,
I know.
we can do
Episode
some. We could do a
25.
little. I feel like we could do an NFL preview. We can have a little chat about the Premier League, which just restarted. We could maybe look into baseball.
Yeah,
the
I
playoffs
feel
starting
like
in a couple months.
I feel like we can table the Premier League to maybe a later part.
That's fine.
But
Let's do
just
some NFL
just
talk.
because the NFL's fresh in my mind, I've been doing a little bit of looking up research of that in the last few days. But one thing that I do, a little story. I was working the other day, and there was a guy in there, and he said, who do you think's the favorite to win the Super Bowl this year? And Eddie, as you would probably love to know, me and Caleb, both of our immediate reactions were the Buffalo Bills.
They are the betting favorite.
And this, aside from them being the Las Vegas betting favorite.
I just saw a single tear roll down.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm gonna regret making this concession.
No. I'm not gonna get. I'm gonna. As the closer we get to the season, the more cagey.
But I mean, Eddie, you know that as much I love my teams, but I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Either one of you. I feel like, as of all the people I know, I feel like I'm one of the most objective fans in sports. As far as I love no offense and no insult. I think you're one of the least objective fans in sports.
I'm a
I
homer.
think you like your teams. You think they're the best teams in their respective leagues, and you're not going to hear anything any other way. I love the Bucks, but you know how realistic I am. And when you look at all the teams in the NFL with their defense, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league, they have. Based on where they ended the season last year, where they are now, they're, what they've done in the offseason. Anytime you have statistically one of the top 2 or 3 defenses in the league, you are one of the best teams in the league. Mm-hmm. That's just the way football works. Defense, offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. Mm-hmm. You've got one of the better teams in the league. But the guy that asked me that, because like I said, he was talking to me. Caleb was a couple feet away and kind of heard, and I was like, Bills, and he goes, oh, wow, you think the Bills? Mm-hmm. You think the Bills are? And I'm like, well, yeah. I mean, obviously Packers are going to be good. Bucks are going to be good. Mm-hmm. I think the Rams, I don't, is Stafford healthy? Or
Stafford was injured with it's a Tommy John. Not a Tommy John injury.
It's an elbow.
So something
but is it the throwing elbow?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
I think it's because, and that's why it occurs. It's something that occurs in pitchers that if it degenerates enough can become a Tommy John surgery, which obviously takes 12 to 18 months off.
No, that's a season. Well, so he's not getting Tommy John surgery.
But it's that part of the elbow that requires Tommy John. But the thing is, because pitchers throw what? Think about it. Let's say they throw 5. Let's say they throw 6. Let's say they throw 1,000 balls a month. An NFL quarterback isn't going to throw 1,000. And I don't even mean competitive. I mean in practice.
Pitching a baseball and throwing a football are two completely different things. Right. I obviously not to like a higher.
But if you're using
level.
your body at its full exertion for either.
Well, no, but you do in each one of those circumstances. But in just from my personal experience and my opinion, throwing a baseball, being a pitcher in baseball is so much more taxing on your elbow
than being a quarterback.
Like
absolutely,
just the amount of spin you have to put on those balls. Like a quarterback, as far as him just unloading and throwing the ball as far and as hard as he can in a football game, it's like maybe 3 to 5 times a game.
Yeah.
They throw it hard, they'll gun it down the field, but that's not every play.
Right.
When they get a drive, he's going to throw it as hard as he can 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 times. A pitcher is realistically throwing the ball just about as hard as he can, and if he's not going for velocity, he's going for movement, which is even movement. If throwing a 99-mile-an-hour fastball is one thing, but throwing an 84-mile-an-hour slider is worse for your elbow because of the motion you have to put on the ball, and you have to whip your elbow in such a high degree that's just not good for your elbow when it comes to like elbow injuries and stuff like that. And I feel like with Stafford, it's just been like day to day. One day it's like, his elbow's messed up, he can't do anything, and then the next day it's like, oh, he's been cleared to practice, and the next day it's like, well, his elbow's flared up. I don't know. Have you heard anything else about that?
The only thing I heard was it was the part of the elbow that is often related to pitchers'
Tommy
elbows.
Johnson,
Yeah, that's the only thing I heard. I haven't looked into it too much. I know they do play the Bills on opening night on the Thursday. In that division, they've got San Francisco, Seattle are going to be bad for a while.
And the Cardinals.
Seattle are going to be bad for a while. Seattle are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL.
Well, Mike Evans injured himself during fucking training camp.
Well, Mike Evans did?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard it was a relatively...
Well, it's the same injury, I guess, he's been dealing with, I think.
What did he...
I don't know.
I remember
the
hearing
details.
something about that. I thought it wasn't that serious, though. I thought he, like... Something that wasn't that bad.
Is that her? Is that her? Is she popping out?
I don't hear any delay on it, so I think we're good for now.
Yeah, we're good for now.
Sanjeet?
Well, I know not to get too far derailed from where we were going with the better teams in the league. Just a quick little side note: Kyler Murray getting all that money. How do you feel about that, Edward?
I'm a Kyler Murray fan.
For layman's,
Kyler Murray is the quarterback of the Arizona Cardinals.
Yeah.
He was the
Heisman winner.
He was the Heisman winner out of Oklahoma. Yeah. He was drafted by the Arizona Cardinals 1-1. He was also drafted I don't know if it was 1-1, but in the first round by the Oakland Athletics.
I don't think he was 1 overall.
He was
a first round pick in the MLB draft. He could have
been a pitcher or a quarterback.
I thought he was a shortstop.
I think he was a pitcher actually, but I could be wrong. Either way,
what
he was drafted.
Russell Wilson? I know Jameis Winston was a pitcher.
I think Wilson was a shortstop.
Okay.
But either way.
Okay.
He was
could have
drafted
played
in the first round
baseball.
in both the NFL and Major League Baseball.
Mm-hmm.
But he's drafted and he's been a bit of an enigma in the NFL.
Can you go into more depth? When you say enigma, what do you mean?
It could potentially be a bias on my part because every time he's played for the Cardinals against either a game that I've been invested in or just watched him in, he's played incredibly well, and he's left his games where he's less. His performances are less for times where I'm not watching. But every time I've watched, he's always played fairly well, and he is a matchup nightmare. But he's a complete matchup nightmare because he's the best. Other than Josh Allen, he's the best athletic thrower in the NFL.
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson is not a better thrower than Kyler Murray.
I'd say Lamar Jackson's more athletic.
Right, but he's
Lamar
not
Jackson.
He's the
Lamar
best,
Jackson is the most athletic quarterback in the league.
But other than Josh Allen, he's the best athletic thrower in the NFL. He's the best passer of a football that is also athletic in the NFL.
It's just when you say enigma, I think more towards like a mystery as far as you don't. I feel like we've seen enough of Kyler Murray to know what he is, what
I don't think we have. That's why I say enigma. I'm not sure we have. And I think the Cardinals are gambling. They gave him, 4 years for $200 million? So 50 a year?
I want to say it was 230, 240. He's the as far as annual salary, he is the second highest paid quarterback in the league behind.
They can get out from it in a few years.
Yeah. But as of right now, as far as his not full contract, but yearly, he's making...
Oh, no, his AAV is bloated, definitely.
He's making more than Josh Allen. He's making more than Tom Brady.
The fact that it's short is... Brady's also
smart
40
on the Cardinals' part.
Something years old, so
and
you can't really...
Brady's been doing 1-year contracts since he left the Patriots.
So you have to. That needs to be,
which is smart though. I mean, he's
but that can't really
old.
be. That can't be used as a reference point because he's.
I'm just saying, as far as the amount of money they make per year. Kyler Murray being the second highest paid player in the NFL on annual salary is absolutely
it's definitely
absurd.
It's bloated right now, but I think they're gambling on his potential, which is massive.
You think he has massive potential?
Really? I'm a big Kyler Murray fan.
I just don't see it. I think he's another Johnny Manziel, Baker Mayfield waiting to happen. He's undersized. He can run a little bit. He's got a little. He's got
run a lot.
He's got athletic ability. I mean, I think he's, and I mean, you could honestly say this about any player in the NFL. He's one hit away from not playing football anywhere.
Is very
small. He's basically my size. Playing
incredibly diminutive, but he is also incredibly athletic and can make all the throws. I've seen him make some incredible throws.
I've not seen any indication that he can make all the throws. He has a decent arm. He's got an okay arm. I wouldn't say he can make all the throws. I would compare his arm to slightly less than Jameis Winston.
I think that's fair. But Jameis Winston also doesn't have the athletic ability that Kyler Murray has.
That's true.
Like you can easily. I mean, the RPOs that you can run with Kyler Murray can just. There's two other quarterbacks in the NFL that you can do that with, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
Once you figure him out, though, I feel like he's a system
difficult. But it's incredibly difficult to figure out someone who you can RPO with like that. Yeah. That's the biggest problem with players like Josh Allen and Kyler Murray is there's no possible way to defend every possible thing
I've
they can
put
do.
Kyler Murray, and I don't know why I'm so down on him, but I've put him in the same category as like Jalen Hurts. Very similar players.
See, I'm down on Jalen Hurts.
Jalen Hurts, and same thing with Justin Fields. Both very athletic. They can run. They can move around. They have some throwing potential. Like, they can throw the ball. They can make a couple throws. Performed very well in... I know Fields was at Ohio State. Where did Hurts was? I feel like
Hurts was Alabama and Fields was Ohio State.
Oh yeah. No, I know Fields. Like both of them, athletic. They can run.
I would rather have Justin. I think Justin Fields deserves.
You'd rather have Justin Fields than
Jalen
Hurts.
Yeah,
I'd put them both 4 out of 10.
Yeah, I'm sure that's fine.
And
I'm fine with that.
a 6 out of 10.
I'm fine with that. I give Kyler a 7. But
I'm 7 getting paid the second most annually,
which I said is a bloated salary. But what I'm saying is, out of those 3, I'd have Kyler with, and then a decent sized gap.
Yeah, Kyler's the best of the 3
and
of
them.
But
I'd
rather
have
him in the
Fields
same
over Hurts. Maybe. I mean, I know Hurts has achieved more, but you've also got to see that Fields is in that tire fire in Chicago.
What has Hurts achieved?
I suppose getting shelled wins and stats, I suppose. But if we're going to go into who for the NFC West, who do we think the best team in the NFC West is?
NFC West?
Because we were talking about...
Well, I mean, it really comes down to Stafford. Stafford's healthy. You got to say the Rams. Yeah. And I mean...
And I think he will be. I think Stafford, I'm guessing, from the rumors around LA, he will be good to go for the season.
Yeah, and like you said, I absolutely agree that the Seahawks are clearly... They got rid of Bobby Wagner. That was getting.
Where did he end up at?
Was
it LA? I think it was LA.
Yeah, no, it was.
Or was it? Yeah, it was definitely in division.
It was LA.
Yeah.
They get rid of Russell Westbrook. Yep, they're clearly looking to offload some players, maybe build up a little salary space. Getting rid of Bobby Wagner, who
is a top 5-10.
I'd have him best linebacker in the league.
He's very good. I mean, you guys have some very, very good linebackers in Tampa.
Yeah. Well, I've said we have the best linebacker tandem.
You might have the best linebacker in Tampa in Levante David. Levante David is incredible.
Levante David is incredible. He's not what he was 3 or 4 years ago. Because the thing of him and I want to say Luke Kuechly got drafted in the same year.
So he's getting on
and they both performed almost like people go nuts about Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly and Levante David perform as far as tackles, sacks, and things like that. They performed almost identically for the first 3 or 4 years they were in the league. Levante David has had some injury problems. I'd have Levante David and Devin White both incredible linebackers, but they're both good because they play together.
There's a guy who is it Fred Warner for San Francisco?
Yeah.
I've never really seen him play very much, but he's supposed to.
He's getting old.
I think he's younger. think he's like coming out of his rookie year now.
Maybe I'm thinking of someone else though, but
I think
I mean I feel like you have to say if Stafford's healthy, you have to say the Rams. And I mean,
difficult to pick against
regardless of what's happening with Jimmy Garoppolo, that San Francisco defense is stout.
Yeah,
that San Francisco defense
Bosa,
is powerful.
Buckner
They're
went
very,
to
very
Indianapolis, but they have the other guy, Solomon Thomas, on the other end.
They have
Fred
a very
Warner in the
good
middle.
defense. Debo Samuel, in my opinion, is one of the better offensive
I think
threats.
He's overrated a little bit. I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have the exposure to West Coast teams that I think I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think Debo Samuel is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL.
No,
I'm not sure, but.
Well, but see, that's the thing.
But again,
is he a wide receiver or is he a running back?
No, he is now. He runs. Well, he is now. I can promise you that because you know what he said. He was like, but he said I won't be taking snaps in the backfield anymore.
I think that if he gets, I mean, it's just tough with Jimmy. Jimmy G's not a thrower. I mean,
he's done. Jimmy G's done in San Francisco. Trey Lance is the
Where
quarterback.
does Jimmy G currently play?
He's not going to play. He will not play another snap for San Francisco. That's guaranteed. They've already said
you're guaranteeing to me that Jimmy G doesn't play.
They're trying to
start another snap.
100%. Trey Lance is the starter.
I heard that, but they're
actively
I don't know
trying
if you've
to
ever
trade him.
seen Trey Lance play. He's not great.
They're actively trying to trade Garoppolo, and if I think there's a deadline. I saw that the other day. If they don't for final roster cut downs. Yeah. And if they can't trade him before then, he will be cut and then signed by someone else.
Well, that is all yet to be seen.
Which is crazy because he'd start on half the teams in the NFL.
Oh, I know. He definitely would. And he's quality, but not amazing.
Yeah.
Though. We're going to take a little break, guys. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Remy's got to suck a dart down, and we will be right back. Don't go anywhere, guys. It's like... Meow. Welcome back, guys, to the Is This Football podcast.
Is this football, though?
Rejoining you again, I'm Dan, joined with Remy and Edward.
Sup. Gute Nacht.
Just finished a little NFL talk. We're kind of getting into the AFC West, which I've said before, and I do believe that is the most competitive and probably talent-laden
AFC West.
What did I say?
NFC.
Yeah, AFC West. The Chargers, the Raiders, the Chiefs, Broncos. And I know you said this. I feel like, Eddie, you were on this train. I feel like I'm surprised as many people are saying that the Chiefs are going to be so much worse minus Tyreek Hill.
I don't think they will. I think the Chiefs will win the AFC West.
Were you not one that was saying, because maybe it wasn't you, but someone was like, oh man,
it was me.
The Chiefs lost Tyreek Hill. They're going to be trashed.
Firstly, it was me. I didn't say they'd be trashed but I think that losing Tyreek Hill hurts them more than it helps.
You know why?
From a Bills standpoint, it hurts KC more than it helps Miami, to me. But I still think KC are marginal favorites in that division.
Yeah.
I think KC are marginal favorites in that division. They still have Mahomes, who is arguably the best quarterback.
The Chargers have a sneaky good defense.
The Chargers are really good.
The Chargers are very good. They've got a sneaky good defense.
Herbert's in his 3rd or 4th year where he could take a huge step.
Herbert is primed.
Eckler's really good.
Everybody and Eckler's another one that's good. He's a little undersized, and I'm waiting to see if he performs as well as everyone thinks he's. I feel like I'd say Eckler and Jonathan Taylor are similar players, very, very good, but they haven't had a lot of time as being the guy. Like next year when Jonathan Taylor's the guy. Like last year was his breakout season. It was amazing. Definitely. Eckler's breakout season was 2 years ago when Melvin Gordon decided to.
Eckler's had like a weird breakout.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
On and off.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When Melvin Gordon first pulled the bullshit with him holding out, trying to get more money, Eckler exploded. Last year he was good. I know he was injured for a little bit of the season. He had a couple little knocks, but he still performed well. Eckler is very good, but now that he's aside from Justin Herbert, the focal point of the offense, but like I said, as good as the Chiefs are, I'm a big fan of the Chiefs, just watching them play football, watching Patrick Mahomes is another player like we were talking about before.
Justin Herbert.
I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes now. Patrick Mahomes is just one of those players that we are blessed in our lifetime to be able to see an athlete that quality play. Like, just some of the things he's done, and I feel like he gets a little bit of slack for not beating the Bucs in the Super Bowl, which wasn't his fault at all. He did everything he possibly could. He played really well. Yeah. But Justin Herbert, too, is another one that I think he's incredibly talented, and I think the Chargers are – and that goes back to how competitive the league is. I think the Raiders are good.
The Raiders are quality. Are good.
And now they got Devontae Adams.
What my question is, what happened to Pat Mahomes at halftime against the Bengals last year in the AFC Championship game?
What do you mean?
Well, he came out and he played his normal game where he was relatively unstoppable. Not unstoppable. Yeah. The Bengals slowed him down, definitely, but he was still relatively. And then in the second half, he was just horrific.
I think
he threw more interceptions and completions.
Yeah, I think he had a bad half.
Right, and that happens.
It does. He just it happened to be at a very inopportune time.
But I do wonder if the absence of Hill. I know there are other fast players on that team. Not Pringle, the other guy. Hardman is very, very fast.
And they also have Clyde Edwards-Helaire back, who was injured the majority of last season. Who
he's
I
not
think
the same burner though.
I think he's but he's a running. I think he's one of the more underrated running backs in the league. I think he can be very good. I wouldn't say top 5, but top 10 easily.
Yeah, he's definitely serviceable.
Could potentially break into the top 5 depending on how he performs this coming year with that offense. Kelsey's obviously one or two best tight ends in the league.
He's the best tight end in the NFL.
Like I said, he's one or two. I can't even think of another.
Darren Waller is pretty.
Yeah,
good.
Waller's very
Waller's
good.
like a large wide receiver,
which is surprising because Waller's so big. You'd think he'd be a good blocker.
Kelsey is Gronkowski level to me. I think I would put him up. He's in the same room. He's in the same room.
He's in the same room. I just feel like Gronk at his peak was the greatest tight end.
Probably the best tight end of all time. Yeah. I mean, until we see some physical freak like I feel like
Gronkowski, if he wouldn't have gotten injured and had as much of a problem with injuries as he did, he would have. He had wide receiver numbers.
That was not coming out of Arizona though. That he had a damaged back or
but it's because of the way he plays. He plays with reckless abandon.
Right.
He goes all out. He lays out for every ball. He blocks like he's a freaking offensive tackle.
Right.
Like he's big and he's strong.
He's basically an offensive tackle that's fast as fuck
with hands, and he just goes into every play with zero regard for bodily harm.
Yep.
Like he literally will you'll see players catch the ball and then they'll come up against the safety and they'll run out of bounds. No, Gronk goes head first into a safety.
No,
every single time.
True, but I can see the thought process that KC could struggle. I can see the thought process because of the back end of their loss, because of the fact that Hill has moved on, and that Mahomes does sometimes rely on a stretched field to make plays, but at the same time they're still the Kansas City Chiefs until they're not, right?
Yeah.
We afforded the New England Patriots that excuse until they failed. Yeah. When Tom Brady left, there was always the question every year, are the Patriots still the Patriots? And everyone questioned them, and they were still the Patriots until Tom Brady left.
Yeah, but they made it back to the playoffs last year.
Oh yeah, but they're not the same team. Let's not be daft about that. The Kansas City Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs are still the Kansas City Chiefs while Pat Mahomes is there. To me, I find
agree.
it difficult to back against them. I can see them losing the division, but if I had to bet, I'd say the Chiefs win the West.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm putting money on it, I would absolutely say the Chiefs.
If I can get a free bet at $100, then give me the Chiefs.
What do you think the chances are of the Broncos winning that division? Because they're the mystery in that division. They were good before; they just didn't have a quarterback.
It depends on how the division unfolds amongst the four contenders in it.
They have really good wide receivers.
Yep.
Sutton and Judy. What?
Tim Patrick has an ACL.
Yeah,
he's done for the year.
But Cortland Sutton and Jerry Jeudy are two of the better. It's one of the better wide receiver combinations in the league.
And by the way,
got a
Russ
great defense.
And by the way, Russ is around the top 5.
Yeah, I would
He's
absolutely say that. I would absolutely say that Russell Wilson
Russ
is one of the most.
Russ is up there, and he's
skilled,
a fucking gamer as well.
Yeah.
He's not just He's not just an incredible quarterback. He's a gamer.
He's intelligent. He's a very smart
defense
quarterback.
Is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
their defense is solid.
The Broncos can definitely win the West.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
I think any one of those teams could win the West.
Until the Chiefs, absolutely, I wouldn't be shocked with any of them winning it. But until the Chiefs don't win the West, then it's their division to lose.
Yeah.
To me.
I mean, I think as far as the AFC South, we already talked about it. That I think
there's a little more in it than I think people are giving.
It's Colts Titans. That's
it's
the
Colts Titans.
Jaguars Texans ain't going anywhere. Colts Titans.
But I think a lot of people are just outright giving it to the Colts right now. Whereas,
well, see, it's like I said
Matt Ryan
out there,
looked really bad in Atlanta last year.
You know what I'm gonna say. If Derrick Henry plays well, nobody can beat that team. If Derrick Henry is playing to his full, if Derrick Henry rushes for fucking 200, 250 yards, you're not beating that team. I don't care what Tannehill does.
I saw a stat earlier in the week. We're zeroing in on fantasy football draft time of the year, which is obviously not to do with this podcast.
When are you guys doing that?
It's not confirmed, but it'll be.
Do you guys have any other spots? I was thinking.
Yeah, there could be a spot. Yeah.
I was thinking about maybe trying to get in on that with you.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll talk to Caleb about it. Yeah, I'm trying to get in on that this year.
I'll definitely. But regardless of the fact that it revolves around fantasy football, 27-year-old running backs going into their 28-year-old season, which Henry is doing,
he's
fell
getting
from
up
a
there.
top 5 spot, if they were top 5, to a outside the top 10.
Yeah.
And that does revolve around fantasy yards and fantasy points, but at the same time, fantasy is based off reality, right?
Yeah.
So we could see a dip. Henry is also the type of physical freak and specimen that could easily
but that's
skew those numbers.
That, in my mind, is the difference between real football and fantasy football, because in fantasy football, Derrick Henry's a great pick because he's realistically their only offensive weapon. They have, what is it, A.J. Brown?
He's gone. He's somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. Well,
I forget where he got traded or cut or something.
Okay.
He's somewhere else now.
Yeah, no, he went. But, like, they realistically...
I don't know who else they have.
I
genuinely don't know any of their wives.
The majority of last season, when Henry was healthy, he was the guy. They don't have a whole lot of other offensive weapons. They don't have a whole lot of other offensive talent, which for fantasy, it's great. You know he's going to get 20, 25, 27 touches a game, or just touches. He's going to run the ball 20, 25 times a game, but also he's going to get hit 50 times. You know, he's going to get hit constantly, which with his recent injury issues and health problems, you know, is that a good thing? You know, if they invested in a really solid number 2 running back to take a little bit of that load off Derrick Henry, allow Derrick Henry to be that much more explosive when he does run him. If they only had to use Derrick Henry for 2 downs every game instead of 3-4 downs every single drive, like, I just feel like that's a huge factor in the Titans being good. But if I had to call it right now, I'd say Titans over the Colts. If Matt Ryan plays good, but I think Matt Ryan's all but in the grave.
I think you're looking at a genuine coin flip there between the two. A.J. Brown went to the Eagles, by the way.
That's what it was, yeah.
But
he was their only other guy last year.
They drafted Devonta Smith out of Alabama in the first round, the Heisman winner.
No, that's the Eagles.
Yeah, that's what. But he's playing for the Eagles.
Yeah. Well, I thought we were talking about.
I'm
the
just
Titans.
thinking about who. I'm looking right now at the wide receivers for the Titans.
Yeah.
They drafted a first round wide receiver called Treylon Burks.
Well, so away from the AFC South, what do you think's going on in the AFC North? I mean, the whole Deshaun Watson thing is an absolute conundrum in and of itself.
So let's
not only
just
with
say,
Cleveland.
let's say for round figures that Watson plays 8 out of the 17 games, just for round figures. I know he's banned for 6 at the moment. Let's just call it 8. So let's say he misses half and plays
it'll be
half.
9.
But let's just say he misses half, which we'll call 8 for a round figure, right? Yeah. Just to make it round figures. So let's play. I don't know who their backup is. They traded Mayfield to Carolina, obviously.
I'm honestly not sure either.
Oh, it's Jacoby Brissett, the guy who played for Indy.
Yeah.
I can't see
for New
this
England.
Division going.
They have a really good defense.
I can't see this division going anywhere other than Cincinnati.
Have locked it up?
I don't think they've locked it up, but I'd be I'd be warmly confident in the Bengals winning this division.
Give the Ravens any chance?
Yeah, I give them a chance.
Because the Ravens,
I give the Ravens a chance.
The Ravens were solid last year, and they were probably the most injury-laden team in the NFL. Their entire defense was injured. They were playing all second and third string.
No, the Ravens are great.
Players.
The Ravens are a good team,
and that's their bread and butter. For as long as John Harbaugh has coached
they're going to play
in
good
Baltimore,
football. Yeah, they're going to play good football.
It's defense,
and they're going to play good football.
Yes, and running the ball, not making mistakes. They'll
get Dobbins back. They're to me, the Ravens are the benchmark of a 7 out of 10 good football team. Yeah. They're just a good football team, right? But I think
I love John Harbaugh.
I think Cincinnati can transcend that this year. Yeah. They already did, but they can transcend it again. I think just if you look at the difference, I think Burrow is. I prefer Burrow over Jackson, which is obviously the most.
I mean, of course.
Yeah, I prefer Burrow over Jackson. I think he takes a bigger step this year. He's had a appendectomy. You saw that, so he's out for 4 weeks. But it shouldn't make too much of a difference.
He should be back by week 1,
right?
I mean,
and if he's not, then okay, you go 1 week without Burrow. But anyway, I like Burrow over Jackson. I love their wide receivers, Chase, Higgins, and your man Tyler Boyd. I love them. Yeah. They did a lot of work to revamp the offensive line.
I think Higgins is prime. Yeah, well, see, that was their biggest question mark.
They revamped the offensive line.
Their offensive line. He got sacked 9 times against the Titans.
They did
still
work.
Won.
Ferris Bueller has been absent 9 times. 9 times? 9 times.
If your quarterback gets sacked 9 times in a football game, you're losing 99 out of 100 of those games.
And they still won 16.
The Bengals still managed
Tom
to
Brady
pull that
got
off.
sacked 9 times in one game.
He'd be dead after the 5th.
If Tom Brady got sacked 9 times in one game, my TV wouldn't be alive anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But no, I like the Bengals. I know you've been a big Bengals fan for probably 18 months now. You're
I
a big
just love
Burrow
watching
guy.
them play.
Yeah, no, they
always
are.
been big on Burrow.
And their defenses, I don't know if
LSU.
I don't think they.
What?
But he's talking OHIO for the Bengals.
I thought you meant because
Burrow
Burrow did
went to
play
LSU.
on Ohio. I thought you meant
Tigers.
Ohio State. Sorry, yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, Ohio.
But no, the defenses. I'm not sure who they. The defense is just scrappy. I don't even know who they have.
Yeah,
honestly.
it's not
I
amazing.
Tell
They're
you
solid,
any of their
though.
defensive players. I'm a big Joe Mixon fan. People hate Joe Mixon.
I don't hate Joe Mixon. I like Joe Mixon.
See, I think Mixon is a fringe 5 running back.
I
love Joe Mixon.
Well, see, I'd put him the same place as Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs and Mixon to me are the same running back.
I like Jacobs as
Very
well.
good, not elite.
I think Mixon has a bit more power. I really like Joe Mixon.
Jacobs is more elusive.
Yeah, he's fast as fuck.
He's faster and a a little more.
In the
and for all of you listening for all of you out there listening to the entire podcast, that is Josh Jacobs Jingleheimer Schmidt. I will repeat that once more.
Remy always makes sure to add that in every time I say Josh Jacobs.
But no, I love Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon can do it all. He's the complete running back. He's a bell cow. He can block. He can catch. He can do it all. I'm a big Joe Mixon fan.
Did you see that? I believe the Cleveland Browns released Kareem Hunt.
They refused to release him. He's requested a trade because they won't pay him, I believe.
Yeah.
And Kareem Hunt is how old do we think in 28, 29?
I think he was drafted in 2017
so he's
2017 was his rookie year, so he's probably 26,
28.
27 easily.
Okay, so he's got 2-3 years. It seems like he's been in the NFL forever. He's played in a few teams because of his issues.
Yeah. Well, other than the Kansas City Chiefs and the Browns, who else did he play for?
It might just be.
He got drafted by the.
It might just be that he's been in the news a lot. Then that's why I think he's played for a few teams. But
beating his wife.
Yeah, well, doing the flying kick to that.
No, that was
it was
Antonio Brown.
It was Kareem Hunt
that did on the punt return.
No, flying kicking the woman.
Domestic.
Oh, on the woman. I
thought
you meant in the football.
No, Antonio Brown.
Definitely Antonio Brown. He also beats his girlfriend just to
all the best ones do. All the best ones do.
But no, Kareem Hunt is. I don't know. I mean, he's very talented, isn't he? And he's obviously They have the best running back room in the NFL. With him and Nick Chubb, that's the best running back room in the NFL with the two of them. Obviously, it looks as if Kareem Hunt won't play for them again. He seems fairly set on.
I think he'd be down, and I also think that Deshaun Watson.
Who trades for him?
Anybody that needs a good running back.
If the Buffalo Bills pull the trigger on him, that's a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, no.
Imagine
you
that
guys
offense
get
with
Kareem Hunt. That's an
imagine
immediate,
that offense with Kareem Hunt.
If you're not already the favorite, that makes you immediately the favorite. But
even going back to the Chiefs.
Anybody
he could
that
go back to the Chiefs. He could go to.
He could. Well, the Chiefs got Juju Schuster, which I forgot about.
But he's a wide receiver, though.
Well, no, I don't mean like running back. I'm just saying like I just happened to pop into my head. They did get Juju.
Yeah, they
Schuster,
got Juju. Yeah.
Who I think could potentially. He's solid.
He's a 1-2A.
I think he
was really good for Pittsburgh.
He was really good when Antonio Brown was there. When Antonio Brown was there, and defenses were putting a lot more emphasis on protecting Antonio Brown,
he got a lot of looks.
Juju feasted. And then when Antonio Brown left, Juju kind of had a little bit of a dip, didn't really play quite as well. He became the one. People started looking at him like, oh, he's the guy. Didn't really play as well. So I'm not sold on Juju, but I guess we'll see what happens with that.
So we've sort of wrapped up the AFC there. Other than the AFC East,
we don't need to talk about the AFC
that's
East.
fine. I'm taking a backward step on the Bills. I obviously love the Bills.
We can skim over that. Are we going into another?
I mean, we can go to a break. It seemed like you guys were transitioning to like the end of, and we have 1 minute left. So if you guys are like done with your topic,
well, I guess we'll before we're not going to start a new topic for a minute for 60 seconds talking.
That's what I was. That's why I was suggesting.
We'll take a little break, guys. We're going to go enjoy a dart real quick. Remy's got to get his fix, but don't go anywhere, you lovely ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back, guys, to the Is This Football podcast.
Is this football?
Joined once again by my lovely friends Remy and Edward Doyle. My name's Dan.
Hello.
Finished up a little bit of NFL talk last time we were speaking before the break, and not to just overload you with football talk, we decided to get a little. I want to just dive right into the Premier League. English Premier League started. We got it kind of snuck up on me.
Didn't it just end? Or
Caleb said the same thing.
Honestly, it felt like a long time off as well. It felt like a really long time off.
The first game was Crystal Palace and who?
Arsenal on Friday.
Arsenal Crystal Palace was on Friday, and I remember walking into work, I was like, oh shit. EPL's back. We got Premier League back. And Caleb comes in about 10 minutes later. He's like, how is this shit on again?
I thought it was like a month.
I mean, Eddie...
in reality, it was probably 10 weeks.
Remy, think about it. There's 51, 52 weeks in a year, and the EPL season is like 53 or 4.
Games.
Yeah, it's 38 games, but it's like 40 weeks.
And it also starts... And you've also got 3 finals.
They take multiple breaks.
You've also got 3 finals after the week. You're really looking at 8 weeks off.
Yeah, it's a solid 2 months, but that's about it. It's about 2 months
summer
off.
break, and then you're back.
You take 8 weeks off in the summer, and then a lot of the time in the summer, when you take a 8-week break off, there'll be a World Cup or a Euros.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see who won the women's Euros? Either one of you guys see?
England.
England. Oh, well, I knew that. I was just gonna say, there you go.
That's a layup.
Congratulations there to you. It's too bad the United States women weren't in there.
Not that bothered about it, to be honest.
Yeah, no.
If someone would have offered me,
someone
would have offered me that, or Spurs beating Southampton, I'd be like, "Are you fucking serious?"
Yeah. Well, you guys won what, 4-1?
Yeah.
4-2, 4-1.
Would have taken a 1-0 win over England women win the World Cup.
How do you feel about your team's performance? Before I get into my team's performance, which will probably take the rest of the segment, I don't want to get too angry too quick, so I'll let you evaluate Tottenham. How do you think Spurs performed in that game?
The performance and the expectations for the season are lined up nicely. We're very, very confident. It's been a while since Spurs have felt like this and the club has felt like this. It seems like...
How'd Kane look?
Kane was...
Sorry to cut you off.
No, it's okay. No, of course.
By the way, a belated happy birthday to Harry Kane. He turned, 20-something or 30-something 2 weeks ago?
I love that you know that because I have no idea, but fair play.
Well, he made it on the celebrity birthdays.
I was just gonna say
he made it on.
really?
He made it on to.
No.
Yeah, he made it on to celebrity birthdays on. They
birthdays.
call us the breeze about a week or two ago.
As much as you love Harry Kane, you don't know what his birthday is.
Well, I don't like Harry Kane that much as a person. I just know that he's a world-class footballer. Do you know what I mean? When you're the best number 9 in the world, you have to celebrate him. But anyway, we're not going into that right now. What we are going into is we're cautiously optimistic for the season.
Yeah.
It's been a really fantastic summer for Spurs. We've held on to all of our best players. We're about to shift some deadwood now, going into August 31st. We've signed some depth, some really good depth. It's obvious under Conte. Conte joined in probably November, December time.
Stole him from us,
and he went from 9th to. He took us from 9th to 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And under his regime, in those 4 or 5 months, we were the 3rd best team in the league points-wise. We looked really good. With that squad, we've added better depth. We've signed Yves Bissouma from Brighton. That's an incredible signing. We've had...
what's the one guy? Vlahovic? Vlahovic?
No.
What's his name?
Vlahovic went to...
who's
Richarlison? We signed Richarlison from...
No, you signed Richarlison from Everton, who I love. I know you're not a big fan of him.
Perisic.
No, there's Perisic, but then there's another one with a V. From Juventus. Or from...
Kulusevski. We've had Kulusevski. We've had Kulusevski, though. We had Kulusevski in January.
But no, that's... I mean...
But he's on a permanent...
He's one of the more new players.
He's an incredible football player.
Yeah,
Him and
very,
Bentancur in the middle.
I forgot about Perisic, because Manchester United had been talking about getting him from Inter Milan for a long time. Of course, never pulled the trigger because the ownership is just trash, but...
And we got him on a free. Conte has completely changed the mood and everything about the club. I don't want to be too bullish here. I know you say that I'm hugely overly optimistic about my club, but there's a lot of Tottenham fans that are saying, we're a dark horse. Listen, we're a dark horse.
Always.
We're a dark horse.
Always.
But it's better than being no horse. It's better than having no jockey.
Which, that just rounds it right off into Manchester United being we literally just have the cart. We're still working at buying a horse.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't even have a shitty retarded horse. We have 0 horse. We've got a cart.
Trying to find something to pull in.
I really, really wanted for the first game of the Premier League season for Ten Hag to come out, and it's Brighton. It's Brighton. We're not playing Liverpool. We're not playing Chelsea. We're not playing Man City. We're not playing Tottenham. We're not playing West Ham.
Decent.
I've been saying it since last season. Graham Potter might be the
manager.
best coach in the league.
Could be,
as far as taking what he has
outside of the top six, he's definitely the best.
You put Graham Potter in charge of as
United.
I'd take him in a second, but like if you took Arsenal as I do
he's
think
a better manager than
I
Arteta.
think Mikel Arteta is.
I think he's shit.
He was a quality player. He's not a bad coach. I think you put Graham Potter in charge of Arsenal, and I think they're a Premier Championship
contender. That's a genuine concern for Spurs fans actually at this point, because Potter's rise.
He's not going to leave. I've heard that he's not going to leave Brighton.
He wouldn't. Well. The reason he wouldn't leave Brighton for Spurs is because of Daniel Levy.
Which is a good idea.
Which is fair enough. The only reason Spurs are spending money is because Conte's a fucking bad man. You know what I mean? And he's literally like, I will leave. I will quit right now.
He's got that Italian
He's
swagger.
like, I will leave right now.
Yeah.
I will walk out this door and you can find another manager if you don't buy this player.
Yeah. You can go back to Pochettino.
And Levy's got his balls in the grinder, which is good. But no, Potter will go to Arsenal because Kroenke, they own an American team. I can't remember what team it is. It's Atlanta, the Atlanta Falcons or someone like that. They own an American team anyway. The Kroenke Sports Network or KSF or KSN. They own an American team anyway, but they've got money. And Arsenal
don't own the Dodgers, do they?
I couldn't tell you.
I feel
I couldn't tell you. I know the Liverpool sports team own the Boston Red Sox and the Man United ones own Tampa
Bay Bucks,
So I don't know. They own someone. I think it's Atlanta, the Atlanta Falcons. It could be someone else.
I don't think
Braves,
it's Atlanta,
maybe.
but I know what you're talking. You're
got money
right.
to spend.
You're right there. Oh no, he's a billionaire.
They've
multiple
got money
times
to spend. They've actually spent a net worth more than Man City have in the last 5 years, which is wild. You wouldn't have thought that, would you? Arsenal have got the largest.
Arsenal have
the
more money
largest
than Man City?
net spend in the last. I think it's 2.5
for
or 3 years.
For who?
Well, you've got Gabriel Jesus.
Oh,
but that was, I
Lord.
know, terrible players. But even going,
I wouldn't say bad, but I mean, like,
but not worth 50.
If you've spent that amount of money over the last 2 or 3 years, you would expect to have some big names.
But there are other players. But
listen,
there are other players that they spent a lot of money on just ended up being shit. Thomas Partey was a huge
terrible.
Nicolas Pepe was 85 million.
Yeah,
He's shit.
Nicolas Pepe came out and was hot when he started. When Nicolas Pepe first got there, he had a couple really good games, played well, but since has shown his true colors, and he's not a quality player in the Premier League.
We're going to say it's going to be a long season. I want to just going back to United before you go into it. I want to just give you a caveat before you start with,
trust me, I'm about to go. I'm about to let
demoralizing depression of it. But
yeah,
I would say, it's a long. You're looking at a 2 to 3 year project here. I wouldn't let one game be the issue to me. And me and you have spoken about this in ourselves, friend before this. Is the idea of playing Christian Eriksen up front? That just makes no sense. I've never seen the man play up front ever. It's never happened. I think. If you played him in a holding midfield area, I'd be like, that's the wrong move.
It's
the wrong move.
Take Fred out, but put Eriksen there. That's way better.
It makes some sort of sense because he can possibly pull the strings from deep.
Yeah.
The man is not a fucking number 9.
Eriksen is a midfielder. He can be an attacking midfielder. He can play winger. He's not a defensive midfielder. He's not a holding midfielder. He can play basically anywhere in the midfield. He's not a number 9.
Not even close.
He's not anywhere close to that type of skill set. That's not what he does.
He's just not that.
Did he once ever play? Did he ever play forward for Tottenham?
Never. He's number 10. Number 10.
That's what I'm saying. He's a number 10.
It shocked me that did, and I don't want to go too deep into the United side of it because I do want to discuss some of the other aspects of the league this season just to give it a brief intro. But it does worry me that about a Ten Hag for you lot. Obviously, I don't. It's whatever. That's your team. It's not my problem. But that would worry me massively.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing, man? You've got Rashford and Sancho. Rashford is
Sancho played. Rashford and Sancho.
And Rashford was a number 9. If he's not now, he was at some point. At some point, Rashford plays like a number 9.
But that's the Rashford can play anywhere in the fight. Like he's a winger, attacking.
He has experience forward. As a number 9.
He can play the number 9.
I'm sure Sancho does as well.
Yeah, I mean, even Bruno Fernandes
more so than
is an attacking midfielder, but Bruno Fernandes is a better number 9 substitute to Christian Eriksen.
Wild.
When I woke up and that's Eddie. You've gotten Peacock, and I absolutely love you for that. It's wonderful, but I'm not going to lie. You may have inadvertently caused me more stress for the next 9 months than any human being possibly could. Woke up at 8:30. 8:30 on a Saturday morning.
Who we're playing this week?
And
then you see that
United,
shit,
I want to say play Brentford, which is should be a layup.
You're right. I think he's away though.
Yeah, well, oh my God, Brentford away. What are we gonna do? But yeah, just like you said, like going into that game, woke up at 8:30 for a 9 o'clock game on Saturday. I don't work till 5, so I didn't need to be up that early. But I was like, it's first game of the season. I'm going to show my boys some support. Wake up, check my phone. Christian Eriksen's playing in the number 9 spot. Also, Fred's just on the field. The fact that Fred is still a professional.
It's incredible that he's managed to transcend 4 different managers.
And I know, right? I know. And just the fact that And the entire game against Brighton, he did exactly what I've said that he does every single game. What he always does, all he does is lose the ball. That's all he does. The only contributing thing that he does in a football game in England is lose the ball. He gets it. He makes maybe 1 or 2 decent passes. He I don't know if it was Roy Keane. Somebody outlined it 2 or 3 years ago. He's not fast. He's not strong. He's not a great passer. He's not a great finisher. He's not a great dribbler. He's not a great defender. He's not good at anything. There is nothing that he's good at. All he does, he's a body on the field. Scott McTominay, I know people are kind of up and down on him. I think Scott McTominay, I like him. He could be good. I think he's got a little bit more. He's still young. He's got some more development to go. But outside of just our holding midfielders, which once again, Fred should be castrated and kicked out of the league because he's absolutely fucking worthless. Send him to Portugal. Send him to Brazil. Get him back to Brazil. I'm sure he'd do great on Corinthians, playing for peanuts in a shit stadium in Brazil. But and then not all, like, the thing about Fred and McTominay, who I don't think should have been playing, they actually played. We playing like a 4-2-3-1, and in front of the two, McTominay and Fred, it was Rashford, Bruno Fernandes, and Jadon Sancho playing just behind Eriksen up top, which we already talked about how ridiculous that is. Rashford, Fernandes, and Sancho, the three of them did absolutely nothing.
You've not got a lot of work
absolutely
ethic there,
nothing. But that goes back to my point. Those three players, they're all making between 200,000 and 300,000 euros a week. They don't care about their performance. Rashford has a good game once every 2 or 3 months, which that's the only thing that keeps him alive at Manchester United. He'll have one game where he scores 2 or 3 screamers. He'll hit a peach of a free kick every 6 months, and people are like, oh my God, Rashford. Dude, to this day, he's still one of the most highly valued young players in all of Europe. Marcus Rashford is, which he does have the talent. He just has zero work ethic. He doesn't care at all about winning. I want to see him get traded to Brentford, get traded to Southampton, get traded to Fulham. That's what I want.
Jesse Lingard style.
Yeah, exactly. But see, Jesse Lingard.
Lingard's somewhere else now, isn't he?
Lingard is at Fulham.
Is it? No,
Lingard,
not Fulham. No.
Is it not?
Pretty sure he was at West Ham.
Yeah, no, he went back to he went to West Ham, went back to Man United. I'm pretty sure he's at Fulham now.
He didn't play Fulham.
But okay, the thing is with Jesse Lingard. Jesse Lingard was very good for Manchester United for a little while. Might be Brentford. Didn't play a whole lot. He never could get into the first team as far as like starting regularly. Goes to West Ham on loan half a season. Best player in the fucking team. One of the best players in the league, performs outrageously, scoring goals. He won a bunch of games for them, and then we take him back. We don't play him. We keep him on the bench.
You'd be talking about at this point. You're talking 4 managers other than Ferguson. From an outsider's view of it, you're talking 4 managers other than Ferguson who've got relatively. All right, Mourinho won you a couple of titles. You won your UEFA Cup.
Mourinho won the UEFA, but okay,
and he won something else. He won one of the domestic cups.
Mourinho won the UEFA Cup, but
and one of the other cups.
But Mourinho had us second place every year that we were under Jose Mourinho. We were the second place team in the league, which I'll take.
That's good.
We don't have to win the Premier League if we finish second to Man City.
Mourinho was not very good for Spurs, but other than that, he's one of the best managers of all time.
Yeah, he is.
But other than that, after Ferguson, who is arguably the best manager of all time,
he is the best of all time.
There's a history of just underperforming. So I think at some point, and that includes, we're going back all the way to David Moyes was for 3-4 years after Ferguson.
Mm-hmm.
You've got Moyes, you've got Ten Hag now, you had Moyes,
Louis Van Gaal,
Van Gaal, you had Solskjaer,
Jose
another
Mourinho.
one in there with Mourinho. So you've got 4 or 5.
I'm pretty sure that's
but you've got 4
Moyes,
or 5
Van Gaal, Mourinho,
in 15
Solskjaer.
years, maybe 12, 15 years.
Well, no, it hasn't even been that long.
Really?
Ferguson retired in 2013. So it's been less than 10 years.
You have 5 managers in 9 years.
Yes. We shouldn't have gotten rid of Mourinho. We had no, that's another thing that in European, especially English football, they get the fact that Claudio Ranieri got sacked from Leicester after winning the league,
shocking.
and then within 12 months he's sacked for underperforming. Like, are you kidding me?
It's outrageous.
It's
and you know what? They did actually make a good hire with Brendan Rodgers. He's worked out well.
Oh no, you're right. I agree that, but Claudio Ranieri, after doing what
should have had a key to the city.
He should have a key to the city. Arsene Wenger won the league once in 2001 and had that job for 20 years of underperforming. How long was he the coach of Arsenal and really did nothing? He was the Invincibles. He won the league without losing anything.
They won a lot of FA Cups.
Yeah, but still. My God, they won a lot of FA Cups. But I mean, Arsene Wenger just had that job solidified for 1, 2, 3 years of quality football and then never lost a job. Claudio Ranieri won the league with Leicester City and then got sacked the next year.
Yeah, it's outrageous. It's not on.
That's the type of shit that they do with coaches and managers in Premier League football. That's just astounding to me. Like you guys getting rid of Pochettino. Like, I know Pochettino was a constant case of like you guys were what?
He was always
you guys were second in the league like
the
3 years in a row.
Very nearly, man.
Yeah, but I mean, like, would you rather be second in the league
Champions League
final, second in the league for 3 or 4 years, always right there? Would you rather be that, or would you rather be 4th or 5th in the league?
At the time, I hated the firing. I still don't like the firing now.
It was terrible. You have to agree that was a terrible decision.
Yeah, I hated it. Terrible decision. It's led us to a very, very good position now. I won't go on about it, but I am excited. I am excited for the season. It's just started again. I've been waiting for football for 10 weeks.
Yeah. I'm so happy it's back, but I have a feeling I'm in for a good deal of heartbreak. We've also got 8 months.
In addition to that, we've got the World Cup in November, which is going to be class. Yeah. I'm liking that because I'm not liking the regular slot, but what I am liking right now, Premier League's just kicked off. It's just kicked off in the first week of August, and now we've got football until probably around late June.
Yeah, late June.
No, they're putting it back because everything's getting put back because of the World Cup. Oh. It started earlier and it's getting put. So we've got non-stop football, not non-stop club football.
How weird is that?
World
I
don't
Cup
like
in
it. I don't want it to be that way from now on. But I'm a fan at the moment because it means you've got non-stop football for about 11 months, and then we're only getting 6 weeks off when we're back to more football.
And all those players are not allowed to have sex when they're over there? Well, good luck with that.
Well, also good luck controlling people who are uber wealthy to not do whatever
Good luck controlling Jack Grealish over there. I swear to God.
Who was the one? No, the England players were, it was Kyle Walker and
Mason Greenwood.
Was that oh, well.
No.
What's the rule on
that was a joke.
What's the rule on masturbating alone in your hotel room to Pornhub?
That's probably not allowed, I would imagine. I'd imagine that's not allowed.
As long as it's...
I'm trying to think. There was 2 England players
who... As long as it's Saudi-approved porn, I think you're good. They've got to check your porn.
There was 2 England players that were in trouble for, like, meeting
I want to say
ladies
Greenwood.
of the
I want to say Greenwood was involved.
It was Kyle Walker and Phil Foden, I think.
Oh, yeah, no, it was. Yeah,
Kyle Walker and Phil Foden. It was in, like, Iceland or, like, somewhere like that.
I remember
They dabbled in the oldest profession for a minute?
Yeah, they were in the oldest profession, and then the ladies, and then their girlfriends / wives found out.
Okay, and first of all, whenever people say that, that's not the oldest profession.
I like to think it is.
Anybody that ever, because I've heard that since I was a child. Oh, well, it's the oldest profession in the world. Oh, really? It's older than like a hunter. It's old. There was prostitutes before there was a hunter or a farmer.
Well, they hunted and farmed for themselves.
Or a medicine man.
This was the first professional goods for money for services.
So they were selling sex
it's
for money.
It's in the top 10 oldest professions.
Before any,
I'd say 5.
Before any other goods or services were exchanged for something of value, prostitutes were like, it makes no sense.
So you're back. It's 1722. You're on the cobblestone streets of England. You need a new pair of shoes. Well, you don't need a new pair of shoes, but you could use your shoes to be touched up. Take them to a what do you call them? A cobbler.
A cobbler.
Yeah. Or you can spend that $20 on a quick blowjob, but not even $20.
Wow.
£3 back then.
No, £3.
It'd be 3 pence.
Yeah, not even that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
probably
3 pence. Yeah.
She'll take it for a punch in the face.
So they only got 3. They only got 3 cents for a blowjob back in fucking 1722.
Half a penny.
3 cents is on the higher
1722.
1722.
Probably what? A handful of straw and a bit of dirt.
I was just gonna say she's just happy to be there.
A handful of straw and some good quality dirt.
Just a warm place to sleep.
Yeah,
just a warm place.
Possibly even just some human interaction.
Something
doesn't have the plague.
Something warm in her mouth.
No plagues.
1722 is a long time ago.
Monkeypox and black plague. Those are my 2 bugaboos.
Jesus Christ. The old black plague. Well, like I said, I'm very excited for Premier League, but I'm also very scared and depressed about where I think the Manchester United team is going. And Aldo, me and him were going back and forth texting. He's like, "Who do you think's to blame?" What
did he have an English football team that you liked?
I don't know if he has an English football.
Like
he just follows all.
Yeah,
he's a River Plate fan.
Well, yeah. But
So he likes them, but I'm not sure what his English Premier League team is. But he follows all European, most
Right.
European sports.
yeah.
But
know
I just
that.
told him, I'm like, it's a combination of the ownership
yeah.
and the managers at the highest level don't care about Manchester United doing well. They don't care at all. The players do not care.
I think that's the thing.
Scott
for the Glazers,
McTominay
isn't
is
it?
the only player on the field that when I watch the games, I see him putting in effort. I see him running. I see him chasing down players. I see him tracking back. I see him. He goes 2 feet into every single tackle that he comes across. Do you think Marcus Rashford Marcus Rashford, all he does is get the ball, he runs, he dribbles at a defender, loses it, and then he stands there. Bruno Fernandes gets the ball, he makes some wild errant pass that goes off of the sidelines, and he stands there, doesn't do anything. Jadon Sancho hasn't done shit since coming from Germany. It's like I said, Erling Haaland comes over, plays one game in the Premier League, he's already the best striker in the fucking league.
Second best.
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Jadon Sancho's been here for 18 months, and he still can't figure out how to tie his fucking shoes. He's absolutely trash. We spent way too much money on him, and I don't know if it's the formation or the system. I think we should go back to a 4-4-2. We should give up on this 4-2-3-1, which clearly isn't working for anybody. Nobody likes that. That just hasn't worked out well for anybody at any point. I think we need to give up on that. Ten Hag just adopted the same thing that Solskjaer and everybody else tried to do. Like, go back to the 4-4-2, go back to basics. We need two really, really good, hard-nosed midfielders. We need a Roy Keane and a Paul Scholes. We get those two types of players, I think that would solve an immense amount of problems for us. But that's just one man's opinion. That's just my little take on it. Would you like to talk a bit about MLB?
We can talk baseball. I think.
About the
I mean, we're
baseball
getting
season.
what we're.
Do you have anything more to add on the Premier League talk?
I'd be interested to see how. There's a few things. There's a few Premier League storylines I'd be interested in. I think the top six will be interesting just because of the shake-up. Chelsea haven't done an awful lot in the window. They got Sterling, who I do rate. I know you don't like Sterling. I do rate Sterling a little bit. But
I mean, he's very fast.
he's decent. Sterling is always. He delivers.
He's incredibly fast.
He delivers as well.
Does not. It's very fast.
We'll leave that
Scores
alone.
a goal here and there.
But other than Sterling, I don't think Chelsea have done an awful lot to solidify themselves. They lost Rudiger to Real Madrid and signed Koulibaly, who seems to be a similar.
I think he's going to be a stud.
Centre half.
Yeah.
Big, very athletic.
I think
good on
Koulibaly's
the ball.
better.
I don't know enough about him to pass judgment.
I watched
don't know
a
enough about him.
tiny bit of Napoli. Last couple months, I touched on a couple highlight films of him and Napoli playing in the Serie A, and he's actually, from what I've seen, he looks really good. I don't know if it's going to translate. Serie A and English Premier League are two wild. Like 15 years ago, it was very similar leagues as far as the quality and the talent. It's nowhere close to what it was 2005, so it's a little bit different. I
think, do you know what's nice about this year is, I think for the last 2 or 3 years, we've had two, maybe at least one team every year, maybe two, that have just been shit, and they've been bottom of the league the whole year. Norwich last year, there was a team before, I think Fulham were the team before the year that, and then there was another team before that who was just dog shit, and it made the relegation fight just not that good. But I think it's going to be a proper dog fight.
I really think it is.
Did you see Fulham against Liverpool?
They
on Saturday? It was brilliant. They really
beat
played well.
Liverpool.
Mitrovic is a proper player, isn't he?
Dude, that's
fucking handful.
That was another thing I was going to bring up, and I've said it for a long time how much I love Mitrovic and how good he is. I honestly believe that Mitrovic is potentially a top 10 number 9 in the world.
Yeah.
As far as his skill set, what he does,
just a fucking bully,
I guarantee, like, in my opinion, Mitrovic better than Aubameyang. I think he's better than Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah.
I think
he's around that level.
This might be controversial. I think he's better than Bobby Firmino.
I don't think, but Firmino's not a proper number 9.
But he's
Firmino,
kind of their number 9. Like he plays like that number 9 forward attacking midfielder, false 9 kind of. Mitrovic is better than him. I could name multiple other forwards on big, talented teams.
Yeah, Mitrovic is good. I think Mitrovic is overlooked because of the fact that he plays Fulham and he's Serbian.
And he could have gone somewhere else. There's been a lot Mitrovic has had the opportunity.
He'll go down as a club legend there. It'll be him and Scott Parker.
Absolutely. They'll be singing his songs for basically ever.
But no, it's good and it's nice to have Forest back as well. Let's say that because Forest are a massive club.
Yeah, no, they've been
a huge
out.
club back in the days.
When was the last time they were in the league?
I don't know when they were back in the first division. I don't know if they've
got a couple Champions Leagues.
And I'm not sure if they've ever been in the Premier League because Premier League was 92,
91, 92.
Yeah, so I don't. I think they've definitely obviously been in the first division.
So you're saying that you don't think they've been in the Premier League since
I'm not
the
sure if
change
they've ever
from
been in the Premier League.
Championship
The
to
old
the Premier
first
League?
division. The old first division. Yeah. So, but it's nice to have them back because it's a proper football club.
Yeah.
And
where are they located?
Nottingham.
But like where in relation to, is that North England? Is that London or is it?
So you've got if you go to Birmingham, which is the middle of the country, and you go east, Birmingham is West Midlands. Leicester is.
Am I crazy? I'm sorry to interrupt. Birmingham is not. Is that not relatively close to Liverpool?
It's in between London and Liverpool.
Okay.
You got London in southeast, Birmingham in the middle, Liverpool in northwest, and then if you go to Leicester, east of Birmingham in the middle, and go a little bit north, you've got Nottingham. So just a little bit northwest of Birmingham. Where I'm from, it's due east.
Okay.
Just cross the mountains and you hit Nottingham.
So it's north. It's in the northern part
it's
of
in
the
the
country.
east. It's in a nether zone of the East Midlands and the northeast. But it's one of them places where people from the north say it's in the Midlands and people from the Midlands say it's in the north. Same place
nobody
I'm from.
wants to claim
no
it.
one wants to claim
Everyone
it. No
wants
one
it to be from someplace else.
I'm a Midland. I'm from the Midlands, but I'm also from the north.
What can you do, guys? It's
Never
been
wanted.
it's been a lovely talk. It's been a lovely show.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, I'm gonna let Remy do a little plug here, a little butt plug.
That's right, guys. This has been episode 25 of Is This Football, and make sure you're going out and subscribing to the Tiger Cage Media page on YouTube. That way, you get both updates on this show and our sister podcast. Is it the Breeze? They call us the Breeze, and we're just having a lot of fun out here. And make sure you're also going to our Facebook page and liking Is This Football ?
Is this?
And got a lot more show coming up for you. We're getting close to the football.
Not tonight.
The football
The
football
The
season.
football.
So
the football.
Football
good
is
show,
fun.
guys.
The football.
Good having you guys back in
Football.
Tiger Kennel C.
It's lovely to be back, Rem.
Yeah.
Lovely to be back in the action.
Yeah.
You guys have a great night. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
see you
you,
next
thank
week.
Signing
Right?
off.
Same
Thank you.
network, same back time.
Back here
All
next week on Tuesday,
We'll see you
guys. Love you.
Good night. Bye.